oil's Now then, crew, and welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Now, this is a bit of an oddball kind of video, as a lot of mine are at the moment. I did a video recently on replacing the left-hand rear wheel bearing, was the whole hub assembly, on a 2006. I think it was a Mazda Axela. I think it was. Yeah, Mazda Axela. And the old wheel bearing, usually you just chuck them in the bin, the whole hub assembly. But one of the viewers, very shortly after the video went to air, he said, "Hey look, Andy, any chance you could pull that old wheel bearing apart and we could have a look and see how badly pitted the racers are?" Because that car was making a horrific noise from that left-hand rear corner when you were driving down the road. It was really humming, and it had been driven for about 4 months like that, and it had been getting progressively worse. So it'd be interesting to see just how damaged the race is in order to generate such a bad noise inside the car. And I have the old hub here, and if you turn it, you know, you can sort of feel some notches, which we call indexing on the bearing. So I'm expecting to see in the race basically some sort of pock marks, you know, where the race, be it the inner or the outer, usually the outer, has got little scallop marks in it in a regular fashion around its, around the whole bearing. Sometimes it's only in one place, but sometimes it's all the way around. Now, I don't know how easy it's going to be to pull this thing apart. They really are what we call an integral sort of hub bearing assembly. They're not designed to be taken apart. So it might involve some swearing and a hammer, maybe even a press, and probably a loud bang. I just don't know. There's only one way to find out. Let's go exploring and see what we find. Well, here we go. This is the hub, and obviously this end is completely sealed. There's nothing we can do at this side. So I think the first thing to do is to get rid of that plastic cap and see what we can see inside. I'm hoping there's going to be a big circlip that we can undo and then press everything out. Or at least press the hub out of the bearings. Right, flat screwdriver. And the only reason why I've got time to do this is the last video I just did was on a Suzuki motorcycle, which has been off the road, parked up for 3 years, never started. And I was expecting it to be a bit of a nightmare, to be perfectly honest, requiring the carb to be cleaned out and all that kind of stuff. And it turns out it started very, very easily. Now it's usually points like this where Andy stabs himself. I think this might be a destruction part. Let's stick it in the vise, find a chisel and a hammer and crack that bit off. Right, you'll have to forgive me, there's probably going to be some earthquakes on the camera. Here we go. Right, well, you can really feel how rough that bearing is now. Okay, destruction derby. I think it's glued on, isn't it? That's why it's not coming off. Ha! Oh, there's like a little steel insert look in there. Still, not really designed to come off, is it? Okay, what have we got? Wow. Can we see a snap ring anywhere? That's to do with the ABS sensor, because it had ABS on this car. I feel more mutilation about to happen. wow, that's actually just like rubberized. Surely that can't be the ABS pickup. Need a bigger screwdriver. Let's go back to the Teng Tools mat. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Right. Weird. Okay, what else have we got? Well, don't know, people. This could get awfully destructive. You can see the seal down there now, look. Oh, Teng Tools, screwdriver stroke chisel. Hitting that down, hopefully this side's going to... Oh, it's loose. Perfect. Get that seal out of the way. Maybe there's a circlet behind that. There we go. Come to daddy. We nearly had it. I think the flat screwdriver is about the best option. There we go. Oh, I can see a bearing. One seal. Well, there's still plenty of grease in there, and the grease is really clean. Makes you wonder why it failed, doesn't it? Probably just poor quality metal. Right, let's give it a brake cleaner and see if we can get rid of some of that grease and see what's going on. Ta-da! I don't have the fancy sound effects like Eric, unfortunately. That's Eric O of the South Main Auto channel. Top lug. Great pulling stuff apart, you know, because this would just go in the bin and we'd never know what was going on. The real reason for failure. It doesn't seem to be lack of lubrication. Oh, that's rough. Jeez. Okay, well, I reckon that the bearing is pressed in from this side, the hub is pressed in from that side, and then this bit is like a big riveted over thing that stops it all coming apart. So I think we're going to have to get rid of this in order to press the whole thing out. Now, it's down in an alcove, so what I'm going to have to do is get the grinder and just take off this shoulder here, and then I can get in with the grinder and grind all that away. There's going to be sparks, people. Cool. No flames. Oh, hot. Come back. Nah, it's not hot really. Okay, right, so we've cut that bit off. I used a slit disc to that. Now obviously there's a lot of grinding dust now in the bearings, but we can flush that out later on. Next job is going to be to grind this piece off here. So back to the vise, we'll give that a go. Excellent. Right, so Fred, I think we're going down the right track. That's the bit we just ground off, so they're the two bits. Now, if you look very carefully, not sure how you can see this on the camera or not, but you can now make out a distinct circle just here. Now, the inner, this bit here, is part of the hub, and this outer piece here must be some kind of retaining collar. So I reckon now, if we put it in the press, and we press down on that whilst supporting these bits here, that should push out the hub. God, hope so. Only one way to find out. Here we go. Okay, let's see how this is going to work. Let's see how dangerous we're going to make it, basically. Says, ooh, dead spider, nice. This is a 12 ton press. So who knows? It might do it, it might not. It will explode. Okay, let's just get that lined up accurately because it's going to be bang in the middle. There we go. Pliers. Should have marked it with a pen, shouldn't I? Right, there we go. There we go. Time for a face mask, I reckon. Oh. If not, we'll just do some more grinding. I think more grinding. More grinding is safer. Okay, let's pull that out of there. Pull that out of there. And I think we should go and grind that collar off. That's this side of the bearing. So we're only pressing it through the bearings and not trying to press this bloody great big collar off. Okay, back to the vise. Maybe that's far enough. I'm hoping that that half will then pop out. Maybe it's not far enough. No, a fraction more. Try that. Maybe. Oh, we've got movement. Excellent. Well, if it turns, it should press off. Back to the press. And it's quite warm. There we go. Okay. a lot easier to see now, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to stand back a little bit. Mask is down. Oh yeah. Right, I think we've bottomed out on the studs we have. Okay, I'll go and hammer those studs out. Back that off. Perfect. Definitely making progress. That's what I like to see. Right, let's go and hammer these studs out. Right, back to the press. Remember, these things are not designed for parts, so it's never supposed to be easy. Okay, there we go. Right, mask is down. Ta-da! Okay, let's have a look and see what we've got. Right, there's that bit and bottom bit. Back to the bench. Well, that wasn't too bad, was it? Oh, okay, there we go, look. Right. So that is the inner race of the inner bearing that sits on the car like that. That's right, that's the outside. So basically it sits like that, look. Okay. So inner race of the outer bearing, and then we've got the inner race of the inner bearing. Now obviously it's full of grinding dust and stuff, so we can't really see what's going on, but we should be able to get those balls out of there. And none of the balls have collapsed by the looks of it, so that's pretty good. Obviously wasn't that bad. See if we can get that nylon race out of there. There we go, that's one. Get rid of the ball. We've got to seal this side, haven't we? Put that to one side for a minute. See if we can get the seal out. Maybe. Oh, there we go, look. I've got a workshop to tidy up now. Right. Okay. They're the races, they're the balls. They all look pretty good actually. Okay, let's flick this seal out. Big flat screwdriver. There we go. This one should do the trick, hopefully. Done. And now we've got inner race, both outer races, and the other inner race. Brake cleaner required. Okay, let's see what we've got. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. Man, this was not cheap either. This was about $300 New Zealand. It's ridiculous. Somebody's making a lot of money on car parts in this country. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Now you'll have to forgive my grinding marks, but they should be pretty obviously different to wear marks. Okay, that's that one done. Let's give that a bit of a clean. I'm running out of rags. Need to donate more towels to the workshop. Okay. So remember, this was pretty rumbly, but it hadn't completely collapsed, had it? Obviously. Okay, so This one is the inner bearing, inner race. And what can we see? Well, best way is to use a little screwdriver, and you can feel, obviously this is where the grindiness came down, so you can ignore that. That's me being destructive. But there is some minor indents in that race. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all equally spaced. It's a bit like the head bearings actually that we did on that Suzuki, isn't it, on Tool Girl Sarah's GSXR 750. That's not horrific. I mean, sure, it's going to make a noise, but it's not bad. Okay, what about the other inner race? So this is the outer bearing inner race. What have we got? Well, okay. So there's lots of very minor pitting all the way around there. Probably got to hear that on the screwdriver. But again, you know, this bearing wasn't contaminated. The grease was good. Yeah. Alright, so very minor surface damage around there. Okay, outer races. This is the outer bearing, outer race. Now, by the looks of it, the outer races are one piece. So, oh, look at that. Holy shit. There you go. Found it. Huge, you know, failure of the hardening of the surface of the bearing. There's your problem. There's your problem, lady. Isn't that what they say over in America? And by, you know, just for your own reference, 54% of all views and minutes watched for the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel are by the Americans. From America. Bloody cool. I'm more famous in America than anywhere else in the world. And I've never been to America. So, I reckon that is definitely one of the causes of the noise. So, definitely a good call to change this bearing. Okay, how about the inner bearing outer race? What have we got there? No, very minor. That's my slit disc again, so you can ignore that. Oh, nah. I mean, it's bad, yes, but it's not horrific. There's some very minor imperfections along there. But, now, it's definitely, that's the problem. I don't know how close I can get to the camera for you. That's the issue. Well, that was definitely worth taking apart and having a good look. Definitely verifies what the problem is. Jeez. Cool. So I suppose before we chuck all this in the bin, we should really have a quick look at some of the ball bearings as well, because if I don't do that, you guys are definitely going to say, "Hey Andy, what were the ball bearings like?" And I'll say, "I don't know," because I put them in the bin. So we'll have to give them a bit of a clean because they're all greasy. One of them did escape, but I'm not going to go and try and find it. God knows where it's gone. Okay. We've got quite a pile of bits now. And all this is full of grinding dust, but oh, I even slit disc a bearing, look. Those slit discs are really good for cutting stuff out on. Okay. Right. Let's get a bit of spray on there. Give them a bit of a rub round. Okay. Something super clean. It's what I normally clean my camera with. Oh, come back. Right. Are any of these damaged? Perfect. Go back in there. I think we'll just look for really badly damaged stuff. There's some real minor marks on them, but nothing serious. Nothing like that outer race. Oh look, slit disc. That's pretty shiny. Okay, if you're bored of this bit, just fast forward. No. No. These all look pretty good actually. That's got a bit of marks on it. Only a few though, only really sort of surface stuff. Nah. Nah. Nope. Nope. Almost there. I won't bore you much longer. Now these are all pretty good. Hey, come back. Oh, that one's found a new life somewhere else. Okay. Just sort of a bit of dulling here and there, that's all it is. Just very minor scuffing on the surface. I mean, sure, it's not what you want to see, but it's nothing like that outer race. Now, well, I only came outside tired of the garage today. I didn't expect to do any videos, and I made one fixing that bike, getting it running, and I made another one as a viewer's request, or at a viewer's request, taking that rear wheel bearing apart. And you know, I'm really chuffed that I did, because normally I just throw these things in the bin, move on, fix something else. But quite interesting, I think, to see how these sealed bearings come apart, you know, how they're actually assembled, and just how serious a failure that could be. And you can see it in there, look, just at the top. You can see the damage. It's not particularly good. Maybe I can shadow light on it. Hang on. Give you one last look before I give up. There you go. Oh, look at that. Not good at all, is it? And it really has broken right through the case hardening for about probably a 10mm, maybe 8mm length. And that's going to make a hell of a noise, you know, when that hub's spinning around. All those ball bearings are flicking past that really rough section. Well, there you go. Job done. If you enjoyed the video, why not click on the subscribe button? Turn on notifications if you want, and our friends down at YouTube will send you an email as and when I upload any new videos. You'll also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and Twitter. But first point of contact, if you don't mind, through the comments on YouTube, because that's really where I monitor. The other stuff, I just sort of come across it, especially Twitter. Man, I hardly ever go on there, to be honest. I also have a Patreon account, so if you want to become a patron. And today a new patron came along, Chris, and he even made a donation. So thank you very much, Chris. I really do appreciate it. I did send you a message, so check out for that. What else? Oh, I think Tool Girl Sarah should be back. No, she's away. Tool Girl Hannah, I think, is scheduled to be back in the workshop next weekend. So you can count down the days, gentlemen. She's a bit of a handful. I don't know whether I'm up to it or not, to be honest with you. She wears me out. She's just, God, she's so full of energy, you know. Anyway, that's about it for this one. I'm going to put all the bikes back in the garage, get cleaned up, probably have a shower, and get some editing done so we can have these videos up live, hopefully within the next 24 hours. Okay, crew, take care. See you around. Cheers. Over and out. Hey, Tool Girl Sam. How are you?
Back.
You're back. fantastic. I know, and I've got a new shirt, so I thought it's only right that I give you a new shirt too, so there you go.
Yes. So excited for my new shirt, and I don't have to wear different shirts every day. And as a classic Tall Girl Sam move, I am going to wear it like this. Wow, would you look at that? I'd say that is a great present for your girlfriend if she's into tools. If she's not, she's probably into tools because you're a tool. See what I did there? Tool girl shirt, perfect.